Sonic Team. While being most well known for, well, Sonic games, sometimes take a step outside of their comfort zone and create something that doesn't star a too cool for school hedgehog. Because of this, we've gotten some really interesting games from them over the years, such as Nights into Dreams and Feel the Magic. Well, I did say interesting. One of their games that has always stood out to me though is their 2003 release Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. This game is what I like to call a rental game. You see, this is one of those games that I rented way back when it was first released. Remember really enjoying it, but for whatever reason, never actually picked up the game for myself. I actually really enjoy going back to these games to see why exactly I remember them so fondly despite only ever renting them. Why didn't I buy the game? Did I just not have the money at the time? Are my memories of the game wrong? Well, let's take a closer look at Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg to find out for ourselves. Billy Hatcher starts out with some chicks on a beach. And no, not those kind of chicks. These little guys are just enjoying a nice and peaceful summer day, when out of nowhere, we're then joined by our main hero, Billy Hatcher, who in typical protagonist fashion is late for something? Well, apparently that something was pretty damn important because his friends are pretty pissed. But just in time to distract everyone from kicking Billy's ass, an injured baby chick appears that's about to be finished off by a crow. Good guy Billy, however, quickly saves the injured chick using a stick as a weapon. Then this happens. Yeah, I'm just as lost as you are. We're then taken to Morningland, where it's not morning at all. Huh. So, long story short, the crows have cursed the land with eternal darkness, and it's up to you to bring daylight back to Morningland. Using the legendary chicken suit, which Billy is obviously thrilled about wearing, you'll make your way through 7 worlds, saving all the chicken elders to put the morning back in Morningland. Now, while the story for this game isn't anything special, the gameplay on the other hand is the real star of the show here. You see, the game has you rolling various eggs around the world to do, well, everything. Platforming, attacking enemies, activating switches, everything you do in this game revolves around this egg rolling mechanic. And you definitely don't want to be without an egg in this game. Because Billy on his own, yeah, he kinda sucks. You're completely defenseless without one, and you can only perform a very stiff jump when you're without an egg. So, for the most part, you'll be carrying around an egg for the majority of your adventure, which, surprisingly, the controls actually work fairly well, with a variety of different moves at your disposal, such as dashing or bouncing on your egg to reach high areas. Movement in this game can feel extremely satisfying. You can also increase the size of your egg by feeding it fruit that's found all across the map. Yeah, I don't get how an egg eats fruit either. Increasing the size of your egg will up your attack while sacrificing a bit of your speed, which isn't a bad trade-off, especially when dealing with bosses and much larger enemies. You also have the option to hatch your egg once it reaches the max size. You can hatch a variety of things, from power-ups which give your egg elemental abilities, to even small animals with elemental attacks that can help you solve puzzles and take out enemies. It really adds a lot of variety to the gameplay. Now, this game is actually set up very similarly to the Super Mario Galaxy series, with each world having a set number of missions for you to complete. The first mission will always have you saving the elder chicken of the world, while the second will have you taking on the boss of that world. The rest of the missions are completely optional for the most part, but they're where most of the variety for this game comes in. You'll be doing plenty of wacky tasks, such as racing a big old penguin, playing a coin collecting minigame, or even saving your captured pals. Which, speaking of your pals, saving them will actually allow you to play as them in their own unique missions, which is a really nice touch for whenever you get sick of Billy shouting "okay" over and over again. Now, at face value, this game seems great. A bright and colorful 3D platformer with a very unique concept. But unfortunately, this game falls short in many of the same ways Sonic Team's other games do. You see, in my opinion, Sonic Team always does an absolutely amazing job at coming up with an initial concept for a game, but they tend to do a pretty terrible job of actually executing those ideas. Whether it be lack of playtesting or development time, their games usually tend to feel rushed and sometimes unfinished. And Billy Hatcher, unfortunately, is no exception to this. Don't get me wrong, the core game itself can be a lot of fun to play with its unique worlds and playstyle, but it's unfortunately plagued with tons of problems that just make the game downright frustrating to play at times. You'll lose your egg for no reason, have it fall through objects it shouldn't fall through, and have to deal with a pretty terrible camera. The game can also start to feel pretty tedious at times, especially during the later levels, with most of the missions feeling more or less the same. There's just so many of these small problems in the game, and it just taints an otherwise amazing game. And these are all issues that could have been dealt with had the game gotten just a little more development time and playtesting done. But regardless of how frustrated I got with this game, I still genuinely enjoyed myself with Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, and found myself coming back to it quite frequently. It's just fun to roll around with a giant egg and work your way through some of the missions. The included multiplayer mode also offers some really nice variety for whenever you have a friend over. The game is bright, colorful, and charming, with an amazing soundtrack to go along with it. All I could think about while playing this game, though, is how much they could improve this formula if there was a sequel made for the series. Unfortunately, over 10 years later, and due to low sales, it doesn't seem like we'll be getting a Billy Hatcher 2 anytime soon. The good news, though, is the series is definitely not forgotten by Sonic Team, with Billy making guest appearances in a couple of other games, such as Sonic Riders and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Who knows, maybe in a few years we'll see Billy return to Morningland for a much needed sequel to this charming little platformer. But what do you think of Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg? Do you want to see a sequel for the game? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out, and it lets me know that I'm doing a good job on these videos. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. There'll be plenty more on the way, and yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.